Hello, this is Cheyenne, loving warrior for Christ, and I'm a watchman on the wall. And I just had some things I would like to share with y'all. First, I'm going to be using abbreviations for certain words because I noticed that some of my videos have been censored and taken down for no good reasons. I don't know. I don't understand why they're taking my videos down, but they are. I hope I can say colloidal silver, but if y'all don't know what that is, please look that up. It may be able to help with the outbreak. But I'm not a doctor or anything like that, so that's my disclaimer. So, research it and see what y'all think about that. I also have a question. Um, does this CV have a patent on it? Because I'm going to show y'all something, and I would really like to know what y'all think this is. I found on the internet about the CV. So if y'all could please look at it and tell me why would they have a patent for it, and what point would that be to have a patent. And then I wanted to also point this out. If if that patent is correct, it's from the United States. And, and then also look up the Georgia Guidestones, of course, and Agenda 21, about the depopulation thing that, that's obvious in the FEMA camps and the FEMA cemetery and FEMA coffins and FEMA, uh, what is it, graves. Just look all that up. But I know that this has been a plan for a while, because I've noticed the FEMA coffins like in 2000 on videos, and then around that time they also had the FEMA graves and graveyards and cemeteries and stuff like that. There's supposedly empty graves, no one's buried there yet. Like they're preparing for something. Um, I just never knew what they were preparing for. I thought it would be something like like um, an asteroid would hit the Earth or something like that, or a major earthquake or something. But this may not be what the major thing that's supposed to happen, or this could be. I don't know. But I do know that they are prepared for something major to happen in the near future, and it could be this CV right now. I don't know. But I just thought I'd let y'all know that. And then they're supposed to like have a mandatory shots. I'll just say it like that. Well, why would anyone want to take a mandatory shot if the CV has a patent made from the USA and it was something that could have been caused, like a bioweapon? So I don't, why would we take a shot if it was caused? You know what I mean? Well, I'm not gonna take a shot. Um, I don't know. I'd just rather not. And I know that the shot is just one step closer to the mark of the beast, because they're saying that this RFID chip implant that would go into your hand would be able to indicate whether or not you've been given your shots or not. And, to kind of keep track. And I think that's just kind of crazy. But that's what they're saying or making claims about. And I think that the CV is also trying to prevent people like me, watchmen on the wall, from, spreading the good news that Jesus Christ is coming soon and that the rapture could happen anytime, and about us living in the end times. the times that we're living in, and, give any warnings to other people. I think that's the reason why they're trying to prevent any gatherings. But I mean, also because of, spreading of sicknesses, of course. I also know that this could be done, this CV could be purposely done for the New World Order. They needed something to, start it, to kickstart it off. And, this probably how they're planning on doing it is with a CV. But, you know, there's a lot of weird things, like I was explaining earlier, the FEMA coffins, you know, the cemeteries, and the patent, that's on the CV. So there's a lot of weird stuff, even stranger than what I'm telling you right now. And it's just, to me, it's just adding up, for the New World Order, also for the cashless society, for the mark of the beast, because, in order to go cashless, you have to, figure out a way to come up with a good reason to get rid of the cash. And I guess this is one way, is by causing fear of passing money from one hand to another, because it could be, contaminated. And so now people will be pushing for the, cashless society. And they'll put some kind of RFID chip, tracking device, and some way to buy and sell into your hand and your forehead. And the Bible warns us not to get that, because if you do, you're doomed to burn in hell with the Antichrist and his sidekick, false prophet, which I believe is Pope Francis. So a lot of things are adding up that this is why they're doing this. And the rabbis are right now saying that the Messiah is here, and they're saying that he's talking with them, and that he's just waiting for his powers to kick in or something like that, and that they might be introducing him sometime around Passover or during Passover or something like that. And I believe that's around like April 13th or something like that. I'm not sure, but it's not that far off. And then the Bible says that Jesus would return when the lawless one, is made known. So we may be raptured out of here really, really soon. And I really hope so, because I don't want to be here when the Antichrist is in rule. But if he is, I'm ready to go through whatever I have to. I know that, we might have to be tested. I'm sorry, my dogs are barking. I had to pause for a minute. I think somebody was at the window, but I'm not sure. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes that happens. I live in an apartment. But anyways, I feel like they're getting ready to introduce the Antichrist. They're going to call him the Messiah. Of course, they're not going to call him the Antichrist. And remember, when Adam and Eve was in the Garden of Eden, Satan came to Eve as a, reptile. And, they were like the first people on earth. They were close with God and everything. They actually heard his voice, like every day, and they were actually given one commandment, one rule. They couldn't eat from the tree of, good and evil, the tree of knowledge. And, well, Satan, he came to Eve and convinced her that it would be okay to eat off that tree. And she fell for the deception. And, you know, look where we are now because of that. But my point is that we can fall for Satan's deceptions, whether we're a Christian or not. And there's a lot of people out there that are, thinking that, well, in their head, well, we're not here yet. They're waiting for a certain thing and, to happen, and if that don't happen, then we're not there yet. So if they bring out some kind of chip that goes in your hand, they're going to go ahead and take it because, and that is very dangerous to gamble with your soul like that, just because, in your opinion, things aren't adding up in your own way of, your own thoughts or your own knowledge of things. So you're going to, just get something because you're thinking that you're right, whenever you should just follow the Bible, regardless of if the time framing is off or not. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you obey God. You obey who you worship. You need to keep that in mind, because some people think it's got something to do with worship. Well, it does. You obey who you worship. Do you worship God? If you do, then you will obey Him. He says, do not get the mark of the beast. If you obey this New World Order, then that is your God. And the Antichrist system is your God. And the Antichrist is your God. Because you're obeying that out of fear. You should fear God, not man. Because God can put you in hell forever in torment, because you went against Him. But if you follow God, then you'll be with Him in heaven in a better place. People on this earth, they can kill your body, but they can't put you in hell and have you tormented forever and ever. They can't kill your soul or torture your soul. Only God can. So that's my advice to y'all, is please don't follow your own understanding. If anything closely resembles, a mark that goes in your hand or your forehead, and it will be used to buy and sell, I would say that's a red flag, and that you should stay away from it. Because if you get it because in your mind you're thinking that you're listening to some person on YouTube that's saying that it's a Sunday law only, I do believe that Sunday law plays a part in it, but I don't think that it's it. You know what I'm saying? You can't use Sunday law to buy and sell. It'll be an actual mark in your hand or your forehead that will be used as like a credit card, to buy and sell. And do not get anything in your body. And with the Sunday laws, you can, that's just something you acknowledge or you don't. And I personally won't be acknowledging that. I worship Jesus every day, so there's no reason for me to worry about the Sunday law, because I worship Jesus every single day. But, this this mark is what you're supposed to be watching for. Not some random, like, in your mind, like there's got to be a rainbow above some tower in some town, and if that don't happen, then we're not there yet. You got to follow the Bible. And sometimes even we get things wrong. We could be off on our timing. And the point that I'm trying to make is, if anything resembles that scripture that says it'll be a mark in your hand or your forehead used to buy and sell, that's your what do you call it, that should be your clues right there. That should be your red flags. That should tell you what you're doing that would be against God, and you shouldn't disobey Him. You should obey Him. And like I said, you will obey who you worship. And some of you people are hanging on to this world like it means more to you. Like the creation means more to you than the Creator. This world, things rot, things get, like destroyed, people get hurt. This place isn't a nice place to live in. This place is corrupt. There's a lot of bad things that are happening here, and Jesus has a better place for us, and that's in heaven with Him. And we should all be excited about going to heaven with Jesus. We shouldn't be wanting to hang on to this world when He created this world and He has something better in store for all of us. And another thing is, a lot of people, whenever you try to tell them that we're living in the end times, they automatically start getting scared. You know, we're not supposed to be living in fear. God didn't give us the spirit of fear. If you're living in fear, then you need to get your heart right with God, because if your heart's right with God, then you have nothing to fear, because you would know that there is life after death and you'd be with Jesus and you have nothing to worry about. You wouldn't be afraid to die. You just know that you just be in a happier place. I'm not going to say that I'm not afraid of pain, because I am afraid of pain, but I try real hard to just leave that in God's hands, because, you know, it's just something you just got to pray about. But we're not to be afraid. We're not to live our life like that. And it's better for you to know what's going on than to not know what's going on. Because if you don't know what's going on, then it's easy for you to be fooled into whatever Satan is trying to do. Because right now he is trying to trick a lot of people and fool them into thinking that they're not living in the end times, and that the mark of the beast isn't the mark of the beast. You know, the RFID chip that's going to be enforced and implanted in everyone, you know, because of the CV, or because you know, they want to make sure they know where all of us are because of tracking, or whatever reason they come up with, you know, because they're going to come up with something that they try to use to make sense of it all. But it won't make any sense no matter what they do. But do not take that mark. You know, stay away from it. You know, because Satan is just out to trick and play games. And like I said before, if he tricked Eve, he can trick us too. And there will be a great, strong, what is it? A strong delusion. There will be a strong delusion. And that could be the strong delusion. And the Bible does say that He will keep us from the hour of temptation. And that could be the hour of temptation, is when the mark of the beast comes out. So we may not be here for that, but there might be some lukewarm Christians that will be left behind because they were not living correctly, or something like that. You know, maybe they weren't actually saved. They thought they were, but they wasn't. You know, I really don't know, but there could be some there will be some Christians left. I know that, because the Bible talks about there being some Christians that go through the whole 7 years of tribulation, or the 3.5 years of tribulation, or however long it is. You know, there would be some left behind Christians that get beheaded, you know, and put into prisons and tortured and stuff like that. So I know there will be some left behind, but it also says that, like I said, the hour of temptation. You know, that He will keep us from that hour of temptation. And so some of us that believe, you know, really in Jesus, and put our whole heart and soul and everything into Jesus, I think we're the ones that will be raptured out of here. But, you know, that's just my thoughts on that. And I just wanted to share all of this with y'all, and also wanted to share this document that I found that's a patent that I would like for y'all to look at and tell me what you think. And like I said, look into the colloidal silver, because I can't really get too much into it, because every time I do, my video gets removed. It's been like 3 or 4 times so far that they've been removed because of that. And so I just say look into it. It's good. It's a good thing for like ear infections and stuff like that, you know. But let me see if there was anything else I was wanting to tell y'all. Let me think for a minute. Yeah, there's one more thing I'd like to add. If you're a watchman on the wall or used to be a watchman on the wall, please come back to your post and start sounding the alarm, because our time is short and Jesus is coming soon. Just please put out some videos that helps to spread the word that Jesus Christ is coming soon and that our time is short. Please spread that around as much as you can. And I love you all, and God bless you.
Oh, shame is a prison, as cruel as a grave. Shame is a robber, and he's come to take my name. Oh, love is my redeemer, lifting me up from the ground. Love is the power where my freedom song is found. There ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. There ain't no grave could hold my body now. Oh, if you walked out of the grave, I'm walking too. If you walked out of the grave, I'm walking too. If you walked out of the grave, I'm walking too. Hey, yeah. If you walked out of the grave, I'm walking too. Hey, hey, oh, if you walked out of the grave, I'm walking too. If you walked out of the grave, I'm walking too. Oh, let's sing about it, yeah. If you walked out of the grave, I'm walking too. I'm following Jesus. If you walked out of the grave, I'm walking too. Hey. Oh, if you walked out of the grave, I'm walking too. If you walked out of the grave, I'm walking too. If you walked out of the grave, I'm walking too. If you walked out of the grave, I'm walking too. There ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. There ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. When I hear the trumpet sound, I'm gonna rise up out of the ground. There ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. There ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. There ain't no